Hello everyone, it's me Andrea. Today I will show you a project where I incorporate a napkin and I will show you how I take it apart here on this example. In my project I will use something different, but sometimes here this is very easy to take it apart, but sometimes they can be a bit stubborn, and so I will show you this little trick. You can put this sticky tape around your fingers, sticky side outside of course, and then pull them easily apart. Do it very much at the edge, because when you remove the tape it can tear a bit. So that's a simple trick and that works. Okay, this, you can see the second layer inside. It's always a bit of print on that, you could use it. So then what I do with my napkins, I always tear them to have this diffused edges that you can incorporate much better without the napkin won't be visible, so no one will know you used a napkin. And that means of course you have to tear the other outside edges as well. For the project now, I will show you a different napkin I used, because you can see that better on smaller items you put onto the project you're working on, how to incorporate that would cover the whole page or the whole card, so won't make any sense. I use this napkin here, that's quite cute. I found this recently, I liked it a lot. And I already had this idea for the card. So you can see how I've torn these frogs out, and the right one here has a little tear there on the right side, but it doesn't matter. You can glue it on, you won't see it afterwards, that's okay. And I put it down with Mod Podge very carefully. And with a smaller object, it's easier to get it down without wrinkles. That, of course, makes a difference, that you won't see it's a napkin. Sometimes you want that, you want this wrinkles for texture. That's fine, but in this case, I didn't want it. So, and I didn't gesso the page before I put this down with Mod Podge. The Mod Podge will be a bit glossy, and you would see that afterwards. That's why I do the gesso bit afterwards. But first I draw down these jars where the frogs are sitting on. Simple shape, and with lids on top. They are sitting on the closed lids. And I will start putting the gesso on now. It's a thin layer, so the drawing won't be painted over a lot, but the trick here is that you put the gesso on afterwards, and you could hide the rest of the edges of the napkin with that, and you won't see it afterwards. You will see at the end a close-up, and there's nothing you can see. So I put on this grey paint, acrylic paint, and on the other side I start with white and go into the grey to have this shading. I will change that several times. You will see that now I come in with more white on that side. Afterwards I will paint over it completely with a light layer of gesso, and the grey shade will show through, and that's for me then this the right shading for the glass. And I let this layer dry. While that dries, I go on and paint on the lids. Didn't have any brass color, so I use gold. It's sort of the same, isn't it? And it's gold acrylic as well, working here with acrylics only. And this, when do I start now? A bit of outline in the lids again, because I lost all the lines. And this screw top, this pattern, I had to draw that back. So now I will go over the whole jar with a white layer of gesso, but it will definitely leave a bit of grey shading, and that's the right amount I wanted to achieve. So that's to the jars. Okay, I will go and shade in later a bit with pit pens and stuff, but only the edges. So for this screws on top, I use this pit pen, and that's actually, it's a fantastic color. It calls green gold, but it's more gold than green, so that's the right color for that, for shading. Bit of grey under the lids with another pit pen I have. That's perfect for shading on gessoed or acrylic pages already, because it's slick and you can put it on and smear it with your fingers, blend it out perfectly. I really like to do that, and they are perfect for that. A bit of shading under the sitting frocks, and more shading on the glasses. And here, of course, I wanted to have the glass on the back shining through, make it a bit more realistic. Of course, it's not a realistic drawing, but that's what it needed. A bit more of the gold on the lids. And then I start with the background, and I use a golden acrylic, fluid acrylics in teal, and go around the frocks, of course, and that adds up to hide the last bit of the napkin edge. You could have seen, I don't know, I think it was hidden anyway already, but so this last layer would make it work. You know, the problem is when you are cutting a napkin, you will never be able to hide this cutting edge. It's so straight that it will always show through a bit, and that's always a good trick to tear napkins. So, and I had this good idea here, very good idea to use. I wanted to, because of my sentiment, I needed sunshine, and I thought this ray stencil from Tim Holtz would be a good idea, but it wasn't. I didn't like it. You will see now, it was so obvious. I should have used a much lighter color, so this looks awful, and I hated it and tried to go over it with more paint, but it didn't work. And I tried to rub it off with a baby wipe, but it didn't work either, so nothing what a good layer of gesso couldn't solve. So I go over it, the whole area where the dark yellow was, let it dry a bit, and then I use a different yellow, a lighter yellow, because I knew with the blue under it, it will get a bit greenish, but that's okay. And put that on with my fingers, let it dry a tiny bit, not completely, that I can go over with a baby wipe and get a bit more of this distressed look. And I think that was sort of okay. On the edges, of course, a bit as well. And I think I can live with that. I actually quite liked it in this way, and you have enough sunshine on top, haven't you? So I protect the lids and start my stamping bit. These are the raindrops from Design by Rinst, and by the droplets. She has 2 sheets of them, and I use my stamp positioner to get the drops right into the jars, and that's what I like. Position the thing, take it away, and then use my stamp. That makes always a perfect position when you're not using this acrylic stamps where you can look through. So, and the same thing on the other side, stamp it on the positioner, put it on where I want it, and take this sheet away and stamp it. And voila, perfect stamping. These are white acrylics for the reflections. And in the next step, I start to outline the frocks again in a very, very sketchy light line, so it doesn't look, it looks looser, and it makes the impression that you hand draw that much more, yeah, realistic. So, and outline with a black pick pen, of course, edging it. And I wanted to have a bit more shading, so I used this graphite aquarelle activated with my water tank brush, and that's it so far. The last bit now is my triple gloss. Put it on the glass to make it shinier and look even more like glass. And now to the words, and that's why I wanted to have the sun, and you will see I'm a bit clueless when it comes to locked. Lou, the Lou is left. I will cut that out, of course, later. And it says I've locked the rain. I locked the rain away. Yeah, I've locked the rain away. And then in smaller letters, for the sun to always shine on you. And yeah, that's why I needed the frogs sitting on top, because this weather frogs normally sitting in the glass, in the jar, on lettuce and showing the weather. I don't know if you know that, but and that's why I set them on the locked lids and wanted to have the sun. So I positioned the words. There are a lot of words, but I managed to put them on, and they are, of course, one of the focal points here on this card. So position them properly. That's why I, of course, stamped the second sentence smaller, otherwise it wouldn't have gone on there. So I'm happy with that, and I glued it down. And after it was glued down, I went around it with a marker, bit of highlights in the eyes of the frogs. And this is a square card. I use card base. I already matted my card in black. I really like to have it in black. It gives a nice contrast. And there's just enough space left that you have a white border as well. So now you can see it close up, and you can see that you really can't see the napkins showing through. You will see some pictures afterwards. You can see it even better there. And that's it. So I hope you like it, and I had a lot of fun making it. I thank you a lot for watching, and I hope I will see you with my next project soon. So have a nice time, guys. Bye bye.